Hey y'all, we're going to talk about power today. Lately, I've got so many questions about this. And if you're in van life, you assume that everybody knows about it. Because we do. This is our lifeline. I mean, this is what keeps us powered up. And we get to use, gadgets, things like that we can plug in. So let me just hold this up. Basically, this is a contained system. This one has one electrical plug, 3 USBs, 12 volt DC. They're all different. These are all different. I'm not going to tell you which one to buy. What I'm going to do is just talk about this in general. The power. This is what I use. I'm going to talk about what I use mine for and why you're going to need to get something. Because a lot of us gals were out here. We moved into our vehicles because we can't afford rent anymore. It's so expensive. And we just don't have that great of we don't have a pension, a lot of us, and we don't have a lot of Social Security coming in. So you asked about it. I'm going to tell you about it. One thing that you asked me is, Lee, you have a 500 Jackaryi. How many watt hours is that Jackaryi? Well, basically, it's a 500 watt hour. It goes by the watt hours. It's just a 500 Jackaryi. You can get 1,000 Jackaryi. You can get 240. There's all different numbers. And I'm going to leave in comments a list of the most famous brands of power stations. I call them stations because look at that. I mean, it's like a station that you can plug in and get your power because you need power these days, right? But they also call it a power bank because what you're doing is you're bringing in power from different sources and you're banking it. You're putting it in the bank to use later. You can use solar to power them up. You can use electricity to power them up, use an electrical cord. Now, you can plug in for your phones. You can plug in, and then probably the other one that I have is the Lightning for the older iPhones, but most everybody's using the USB-C. Yeah, and I'm going to tell you one of the things to look out for before this is over. Let me get my cord here. I keep these handy by my door, my driver's door, because what I've been doing is taking these in. And I have another one over here. Let me show you. I have two. Let me see. I have two of these. I know. I could do this for my exercising, right? Yeah. I have two of these. One of them I park over here for solar. I have 100 watt solar above on my roof. If I was going to replace it, I would get a 200 watt. I use a flat, flexible solar panel so nobody can see it, and the cord comes through my window, and I've got it taped on the outside too, so it's you'd really have to look to see if it's there. Somebody'd have to really be looking. It's not like sticking out like a sore thumb. It comes through my window here, it comes down along the ground, and it comes over. So one of them I keep over here so I can plug into solar. And then the other one I use over here. I park it here, and then I can plug everything in my phone, things like that, and work it that way. Here's the cord. This is a DC. This is an 8mm, but that doesn't mean anything. For Jackaryi, they usually, if it's this, they use 8mm, but that's okay. But this is a DC plug. And if you notice here, they have DCs. This is where, like cameras, you use these for cameras. There are devices that use DC. And then this just plugs into here. There you go. Yeah. And this is the plug that I carry in. This is, let me move this a little bit. This is, the regular electrical plug. Yeah. So I have 2 and 2. Okay. I really don't like to park in the sun anymore, especially in the summer. No, I don't like to do that. So I find myself going in now. And I found a few places. And when I leave to my winter spot, I know where the places are too. But I have this, it's in a bag. It's close to my driver so I can just grab it. Now, I also use these, like I said, I have 4 of these. And I can put, for power, I can put these in my bag. If I'm going to, let's say I'm going to go downtown and I'm going to park my car, but I'm going to do filming. And oops, I forgot to power up my phone. I know, my phone's in my holder. I love this holder. And I forgot to power it up. So I just grab myself a cord, this, throw it in my bag, and then take off and go. You got to have power. You got to be powering up your phones. Now, I've had people tell me, well, you can just plug it into your cigarette lighter. I don't really do that much driving anymore. What I do is, here's how I do it. I have 2 major cities I go to. I have 2 seasons. I have summer and winter. I don't really care about spring and fall. Not in movement. Okay, I mean, I love spring. Oh, I love autumn. Oh my gosh. But as far as like for nomad life, I have 2 seasons. I have a summer home and I have a winter home. And even whichever one I'm in, I don't do a lot of driving anymore. I'm sick of the wear and tear on my van, and I'm sick of just driving. So I have everything kind of like chiseled out in my life right now. And you will too if you're new to this. So this is mainly for newer people. I've had people that I carry this in somewhere to plug it in, and people are amazed. They're like, what is that? What is that? And I took one into the gym one time. She goes, oh, is that a piece of equipment for working out? And so even people who live in a house don't know what these are. They really don't know what they are. So yeah, I mean, that's why I wanted to talk about it again. I've got new viewers, welcome. And this is necessary for even house living. You should, I have a book called Ready to Roll, Disaster Preparedness for Regular People. And I talk about these. You really should have some backup if the electricity goes out. And it goes out for all kinds of reasons, okay? This has everything in it that you need, okay? Now, if you were doing a build out in a lot of vans, what they do is they have like golf cart batteries that store the power. This already has a battery in it. It's a lithium ion battery. Then they have to put the controller up, and it has to be stable. So they have to find a place on the wall, put a board up there, screwed in, and then screw the controller on. This has a controller in there. The controller controls the amount and speed of the energy coming in, whether it's from electricity or solar. Yeah. And then what you do is then you have to have an inverter, which inverts all of your different types of energy source. Electric, USB, 12 volt, DC. Yeah. I mean, they all have to have their own little adjustments. And so then you have to put the inverter up and you have to screw it on. This one already has it on there. Now, if I want to plug in something, but my inverter's way over here, I have to have some extension cords. This I can move anywhere I want to. Okay, I can move it here, here, up here. Yeah. I like these. They might be a little bit more expensive, but you know, the prices are going down a little bit. I like simplicity. I really do. And there's all different watt hours that you can buy. You can buy a 240. You can buy a 500, 1,000, a 750, 300. Oh my gosh, yeah. There's all different numbers. And what I have found with Jackaryi is that they go $1 per watt hour. So 500, that means it's about $500, $4.99. Yeah. So I do want you to be aware of something. Okay? Now, I don't know. I tend to put things away right away when I really needed it still. I want you to look at that. This is a DC, round DC plug. And this is the connector that goes in here. Okay? Goes in here. There. Now, there's another type of battery called LifePo 4. They're better. They last longer. They're safer. Oh my gosh. But as far as these go, what they're doing is they're using USB-C as a connector. Look at that little teeny weeny little thing. Look how thin it is. Yeah. So if you consider that it goes in here, and what they did was they put the cord, it's real thick from here to here, I guess for stabilization. But when you put it in here and you put it in, it sticks out this far. It sticks out here to here. Well, if I'm living in a minivan, it's going to get bumped. And it did. Oh, it did. Yeah. And this thing loosened up and it wasn't even stable anymore. It just kind of like moved inside the little plastic. Yeah, just moved around in there. So, no good. It was no good. So, but I still had this that I could plug in because I needed it for my solar. But I still had the, for the electrical adapter, and I gave it to my son. I just gave it to him and said, here, you can charge this up at home. Just be careful, you know, when you put it in and plug and charge it up that way. And then you can take it out in your yard. When you're sitting out there in the summer and you want to have a fan blowing on you, whatever. And so I gave it away. Yeah, because it was no good to me. Now, somebody said, well, you could have turned it upside down and have the plug coming up. And it would stick up this far. Some still could have bumped it. It's a bad design, and I noticed that Blue Eddy's using them too. As your main connector, I think not. This thing you could hit with a hammer, and it's so thick and solid that you could hit it with a hammer and it wouldn't do anything. You got to have solid, and this actually bends. It doesn't. Yeah. So I want you to be aware. Here's what I want you to do. So I want you to go on Amazon, and on Amazon you're gonna, even if you're not gonna buy from Amazon, go on there, and because they've got great reviews, they've got great descriptions, and they got the best pictures. You're gonna want to look at the pictures, and you're gonna want to read the description, investigate it, and even at the bottom there's a place where you can ask questions first, and other people who bought it will answer questions for you. It's a good system. Do your research. Make sure that your connector is not this flimsy USB-C, but rather a nice solid. I mean, these are expensive. You don't want some cheap crap, connected that could get broke, and it's not good for nomads. So I don't know, maybe they've changed them since the last year, or because people might just complain. I know I cannot be the only one that realized that that was a really bad design. So yeah, but I'm going to leave the most famous, the most popular brands and for you in I'll pin the comment up for you. Let's see, is there anything else I wanted to say? Basically, what I use mine for is the fan. Anything with a motor is going to use a lot of power. It's going to drain your bank. It's like constantly taking money out of the bank. Yeah, this thing just keeps withdrawing. It makes withdrawals. Also, anything that heats up, like if you have a curling iron, or I have a portable kettle that it plugs in that I can heat up water in case I ran out of butane or something like that on my stove, okay? And I also plug in my laptop, which it's electric, so it uses more than USB. So that's why lately I've been really having to run in to power up, because I just don't want to park in the sun. What I use the solar for is it might get a little bit, maybe if I'm under a tree and a little bit of light's coming through, it'll kind of trickle in. Or if I am driving, let's say I'm going on a trip and I drive, which I do every once in a while, it's good for that. It'll really zap up because my solar will be in the sun. So I hope you enjoyed this, okay? How to live in a minivan, the Minivan Leeway. It's on Amazon. It's not expensive. It's a comprehensive encyclopedia of nomad life, because you just never know, okay? And I've also got Ready to Roll. It is, I know, I'm losing my thought here. It is disaster preparedness for regular people. It's not about survival and building bunkers. It's about being ready for anything. And I list them all. Each chapter is something different, whether it's flood, or whether it's an earthquake, or it's fire, or it's an emergency, a pandemic, something like that. So that's a really good one. They're both really good. So I love you guys. It's just a little shorty here, little quickie, as they say. And I love you guys. I will see you tomorrow, okay?